Hey folks, welcome back to Street Rust. We're going to continue working on the F250. Today, all right, you pull it. And what we're looking for today, this is the brake pedal assembly out of the F250 brake pedal. This is the gas pedal, not the brake pedal. Anyway, they had it rigged up here. They had a washer on here that went over this that kind of held this in place. I think that's why the gas may have been sticking. But anyway, that's broken, and that's kind of like a, I don't, it's like a pot metal. It almost looks like that zinc stuff, maybe that carbs are built out of, but nonetheless, you can't weld it. My place up in Missouri is now closed on Saturdays, so they have an old F250 here. That's, I think it was a 74, 75. We're gonna get in here and check it out. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, this is definitely a 75. Just kind of absorb it. Look, check this out too. I don't think this is the same exact setup we have on our 70 F250. I don't think that was on an F250. I think we have assembly off an F350 put on our truck. Nonetheless, I'm gonna get right into this. Man, look at this wicked bed. That's pretty cool. And look at that front bumper. Yowza. Man, I would love to have that bumper on our truck. I'm gonna have to see how much they want for that though. Anyway, it's got a 302, looks like, in it. Pretty sure that's it. Oh, and it had a 4. Look at that. Oh, looky there. There's a cast iron 4-barrel intake. There's some powered by Ford valve covers. You don't see a lot of these old cars in these salvage yards anymore. Is that a 302? It sure looks like it. Okay, so anyway, but that's not what we're looking for. We are looking for, it's a little dark in here, but there's the gas pedal. And I'm going to kind of compare the length and see if it's the same. It's got the same mechanism, the same 3 bolts up there. I think they're 9/16. We're going to go ahead and pop it out and see what we got. So we'll be right back. All right, we got her out. Pretty much the same. The good news is this piece is all intact and looks good. Everything looks good up through here, almost exactly. The bend and everything, a little difference. See how this one is longer and this one's shorter? We can modify this. That'll work as long as the price is right. Don't really have it listed on their parts list, so we'll when we check out, I'll let you know what it costs. These are probably, even used, they're between 80 and 100 bucks on like eBay and stuff like that. So we're gonna keep looking around. This is pretty cool old truck, and I gotta tell you, there's enough meat on the bones here that someone could save this if they really, or for parts. I mean, oh my gosh, you know. But 75, I don't know. But I love this bumper. I'm gonna have to ask about that. All right, folks, it has been a beautiful day at You Pull It. It's probably pushing 50 degrees. The sun's out. Love it. So what'd we rack up here? So we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're gonna have to modify this a little bit, but this was like, well, I paid $19 for the floor mats for this. So 10 bucks for this, 10 bucks for the floor mats. These are rubber. I think they'll work great in the F250. Sorry for the shadow there. Then, so we're just, I mean on eBay, these are running seriously upwards of 80, 90 bucks. But anyway, so not a Pepsi guy, but that's what he had. But anyway, I got a shish kebab in a wrap here. So dude's from Brazil. You can't see it. Oh, you can barely see the umbrella right over here. He's out here selling food. So hey, we're gonna get home. I'm gonna safely drive and eat on the way, and I'll see you guys in a few seconds. We'll be back in the garage getting to work. All right, folks, we're back. We're back in the garage. I want you to take a quick look at this sweet looking thing. So this seat cover, which I ordered from Amazon, I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is not the cheap one. It comes with Well, here, let me show you which one it is. Whoop, there you go, right there. These run about $35 to $40. It's not the cheap one. What's the cheap one? Well, these come with headrest covers, which now will be camera covers for me because I don't have headrests. But you can see the material on the front here is very thick material. That's good. But the back is that cheap nylon stuff. Don't buy the seats that are made out of that cheap nylon stuff. You want to buy the one, this is thick, heavy duty. It comes with the strings, we'll tie it on. So, versus going out and buying a seat for $100 and putting a $50 car seat on it or a seat cover, versus sending this off to have it reupholstered for $300. I think this is going to look awesome because you know what? The seat still looks the way it looks. So we got some seat work to do here. You can see this needs clipped on the bottom. We just need to tighten that up, tape it up. We'll be working on that. And let's go for a ride here. See what else we're gonna be working on. First of all, you can see my $6 mats in here. Those look, I cleaned them up and Armor All'd them. You know, little lipstick on the pig. Yeah, very good. We're gonna clean off this dash. We're gonna work on the sending unit. We're gonna work on the instrument cluster. And I did a separate video on the instrument cluster because it was kind of technical and took a little, and I didn't want y'all to have to survive through that. So that's done. And I've decided on the gas pedal. This is the one that came out of it. You can tell because it's got blue all over it. This is the one we got at You Pull It. You can see it's a little longer on the top here. You know what? I'm going to give that a whirl and just bolt it in and see what's going on. Here's the old printed circuit that's off the back of the instrument cluster. You can see it's burned up and things of that nature. This wasn't working real good here, folks. Okay, so without further ado, let me get everything ready, and I think we're going to start with we're going to get the sending unit part done, and we got our new sending unit, and we're going to get the instrument cluster back in, make sure all that's functioning. Then we'll come back and get the brake pedal in, the gas pedal, the go pedal, and then we'll come back and start working on the seat. Okay, a couple updates here. Show you the progress I've made. Gas pedal is in. You can see that. Everything in there went in just like it was made for it. So, but you know what? We're going to take a look at, here's the old one over here. So this one is pretty much straight up and down. The one that we got was a little longer and it was curved. So let me get this light on here. Okay, you can see it back there where it's curved up, right? But I have adjustment right there. So I've got it just hand adjusted. Seems to be doing well. So that's good news. You know, I'm always quick to start, you know, modifying stuff. We'll see if we can make that work like that. Haven't got to this yet. So, and it's about quitting time, boys and girls. But I want to give you an update. I went ahead. This is just sitting in there. Okay. So there's two things on the back. You connect the speedometer and you plug in the harness, and that's it. So let me tell you what, let me show you a couple things. First of all, got this new sending unit, but I think this one works. Won't know until I get some gas in it because I'm out of gas. We'll do that test before this video ends. And I don't want to pull it out and ohm it because it stinks up the place and I'm tired. Okay, so I went ahead and made a new connector here, and for the record, a little nut off a old coil will fit perfectly on there. That fit well, and I went ahead and put a little black tape on here where it's rubbing against the frames. Actually, I'm gonna have to do a little better job there in case it moves over there. Okay, so now here's what I'm gonna do. If you guys watch the gauge, I want you to get a good shot. If you watch that gauge, and I'm going to turn the power on. You can see it slowly moving. There's not a lot of fuel in the bottom of this thing. To me, that indicates that that's working. Now, to test the gauge, here's what I'm going to do. Just to test the gauge, not the sending unit. If I basically, with the ignition on, ground this out like this, you're going to see that, when I do that, you're going to see it move. So, here you go. You ready? There you go. Look at there. So the gauge is good. Okay. Now I tried to start this thing and it ran out of gas, and I'm not going to get gas. It's 10:30 at night on work night. But here's a couple things I know. That sending unit worked. Well, how did that work? And how did that work? Because we know that one works, right? Well, let's get our little light. This little light of mine. Because the way they've got this set up, if you look at the sending unit down there, here, let me get you, you can see that you have the copper wire. I can't use both hands, but there's a copper wire plumbed into that. That's a little redneck right there. But you can also see at the end of the oil pressure sensor, the wire's plugged in. So they both work. That's good news. Now, I'm going to show you the lights here in a second, but what I want to show you is when I turn the turn signal on, you can see that little light going right there. Look at that altimeter moving. That's a good indication right there. So we've got, matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let me kill the lights, because I want to share this with you. It's pretty cool. All right, hang on a second. I got to kill the lights in the garage here. The messy, messy, messy garage that it is. All right. All right. Ooh, look at those flamingo lights. Okay. So, with the exception of the flamingo lights, ready, 1, 2, 3. There's your dash. Lights right there. And the dim is working. The dimmer switch is working. Matter of fact, I can hit the dome light for the door switch. Let me find it here. It's working. Okay. Anyway, when I hit, there's my turn signal to the left. There's my turn signal on the right. And let me grab it. I'm gonna hit the high beam. You watch for the red light. Where'd it go? Oh, I don't have the headlights all the way on. See that red light in there? I'm reaching down here trying to do this. Okay, it's off. So we got our high beam light working good. Headlights back off, and we've got hazards. There you go. Can't beat that with a stick right there. I'm going to go ahead and leave. Let me turn this off. And let me turn this light back on for us, folks. There we go. All right, so I'm going to leave this I'm not going to install it totally. There's a lot of wiring I got to look at still, and I think this is electric brake. And I don't know, like I said, I started up, this worked for just a couple seconds, and then the gas went. I'm going to have to see if this temp sensor works. If it doesn't, I'll put a temp, and I may go ahead and put a temp sensor in here anyway, just to have a backup one. We need to get that mounted right. They've tied in a lot of this wiring with the brakes, so I got to be careful that I don't, mess up my brake lights and everything. So I think we're going to end it right here for tonight, folks. We're making a lot of progress. Basically, we get this car seat done, get it stuck in, and the interior be almost ready to rock. We need to do a little cleaning. We're going to leave it like this for now. And I might come up with some rottish little plates to put over the top of that. There's already 2 holes here. I'm sure with my death wheel and some cool looking metal, we can come up with something neat. What do I do with these slots though? And I may paint that black in the back. I may take that encapsulator. Oh, I gotta do the. I need to plug this up with that black RTV and get some of this cleaned out. But we'll get all that done. So we may have an extra sending unit. We'll throw it on the shelf because I'm sure you're going to see another late 60s, early to late 70s Ford truck because I enjoy these trucks tremendously. So, okay, folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. I will see you. It'll be a few seconds, not even a few seconds. It'll be a millisecond for you. It will be, who knows? Hopefully tomorrow night I'll have some time to get back out here, get this seat done. We'll get it put in, and we'll be done. So see you in just a second. All right, folks, we're back. What we're going to do today, we'll work on this seat so we can get it back in. What am I going to do? First of all, I'm going to clean it. I like using Simple Green, works pretty good. I'm not worried about it being showroom clean because we're putting a seat cover on. But this foam that came, this is what came in the packing of the radiator, and I have more of it. We're going to use that to fill a couple voids in the foam, like back in here and things of that nature. I actually have some upholstery thread and heavy thread and needles if I need it. We've also got the, what do they call this officially? Hog ring pliers. If you ever ringed a hog when you were younger so they wouldn't root out. That's what this is. These are, I got two different sizes. That's the kind of stuff that helps you clip stuff on the bottom. Got the little tool that goes with it. It's just taking a metal ring and putting it through the material. It's an open, and then you close it and it makes a ring. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this step by step so I don't bore you to death. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll get it cleaned up, and I'll go ahead and cut out some, I'll get my plan together. I'll cut out some of this foam. Then of course I'm going to duct tape the fire out of it, right? And just to try to make a comfortable seat. Then we'll work on putting the seat cover on it. So be back in just a second. All right, quick update here. Woo! All right, first of all, let me flip this over so you can see it. I went and took the backs off. It was just two Allen bolts on one on each end. It wasn't difficult, but the first thing I had to do was get this back on, this clip. That's that plastic clip that clips up under. So I got all those taken care of, because if I try to repair the top and this isn't on, then I try to put that on later, I'm never going to get it on, because you know you got to pretty much stand on that thing to get enough room to pull it up and clip it. So that's good. Now what am I doing? So well, I'll get you in here in a minute. So actually the foam, there's a couple little channels here where the foam's ripped out. It doesn't look, and you can see that right here. Okay, all right. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. So we've got the hog rings, but because there's a lot going on here, like all this ripped out stuff, you're never going to get that. So what I'm going to do, I went and got my Scholastic super duper hole punch, and I punched some holes and punch it far enough back where it's not going to rip out. And the goal here isn't to put the wire tie in here and cinch it up, because these are going to rip. You put the wire tie in there, you put weight on this, and then you cinch it up. Because there's no way, maybe up to this, even that, look at that, we're never going to close that up. This is all ripped back here. So I'm going to close that up with wire ties along here, and may even do some of that here, but there's going to be a lot of duct tape. Now, as far as the padding, I went ahead and cut out a piece of this padding, and what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to have to trim that. I kind of went, you know, but I'll trim it up a little more. But I'm going to try to fit that up in there just to give a, you know, is it for comfort? Of course. Is this the right foam? No. But it's what I have, and we're trying to do this on a budget. So remember, this foam came out of the radiator box, and I use that foam all the time. I keep them because I lay on them when I'm up working under the car. They're pretty comfy. Okay, so for the backrest, they all look pretty good. There's a little bit of repair I'm going to have to do there, but you see this part here where it's got the hog rings in there. I'm going to have to do that with this. Once again, I'm going to have to kind of stand on it, compress it, hog ring it. So that's the plan. So before I start duct taping, I'll get back with you so you can see. And before I put the back on, I might put it on just, yeah, I'll put it back on, just gently hold it together so you can kind of see what's going on here before we start duct taping. All right, so we'll be back. All right, I lied to you. I did come back before I duct taped it, but I'm not going to put the backs on because I got to do some duct tape in there. So on this one, you can see I got the hog rings all in there. That's all buttoned up. I got some foam in here to start taping, some foam here. I got some foam in this seat. And I've got some foam, that big piece of foam in here on the driver's side. So now my little experiment with the punch hole and this stuff, and the punch hole and the zip tie did not work. As soon as I gave it any pressure, when I pushed down, gave some pressure, they popped right out. So this stuff is too brittle, it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to rely on tape. I'm going to be putting duct tape up here and pulling it down and over. Of course, we'll have the seat cover on it. So I'm going to go ahead and duct tape it and get everything done, put back together. Then we'll come back and get this seat cover on it. Alrighty, folks, we got a good base now. You can. This is what we did on the LTD too. And I'm thinking, I can't remember what we did on the Chrysler. I have to go back and look at the videos. But anyway, nice, smooth, comfy for your behind, for your tush. The seats are working, yada, yada, yada. So, what's the next step? The next step, let's see how we get this on. So this has got pockets on the front. That's why I like these. And that lets you know that you got it on right. And so this is going to be a matter of, there's your slot right there. It's where your seat belts are going to come up through. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so basically, that's what she's going to look like. Now, how do you get everything to stay on? It's all a series of strings. You're tying these off on the bottom, pulling everything up, cinching up, and you're going to start. There's some loops here that go through the back, through there. That's how you're going to start. So, you know what? I think I did this on the Chrysler video. I'm not going to bore you with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this done, number one, and number two, Gabriel is home from work. I'm going to have him help me put it in the truck. We'll get it bolted in. Might clean up the dash a little bit, but we're pretty much going to be done with the interior to an extent. When I say to an extent, I'm not aware of any other electrical issues. There's no radio in it. The blower works. We did that a while back. I'm going to get back up the front end and do some work. I got to do some work with the wiring, the ignition and everything. It works, but it ain't right. There's no voltage regulator or anything like that. And the alternator they put in there does not have a voltage regulator. So we're to the point now, we're going to start tying up loose ends, get this thing on the road so we can go buy another piece of junk, haul it home, and not have 13, 14, 15 videos for one vehicle, because it's pretty evident y'all don't like that. So, but I can't stop in the middle of it. Now we got some body work to do, stuff like that too. We'll probably do that later. We'll just get this thing where it can pull out of the garage, haul a trailer, lights work, doesn't overheat, starts every time. That's going to be success for us. Okay, so next time you see me in a millisecond, this thing will be sitting back in the truck. Alrighty, folks, there you have it. You know what? It's not perfect. I still got some strings I need to trim up, and it's sitting on the studs. It's still loose, but the seat belts, there's not going to be a middle seat belt because it fell apart. So we'll have two seat belts in here. There's not going to be three people riding in here anyway. So I'll be cleaning up this dash, working on stuff intermittently. I mean, we're just down to the last part of things. I got to get the radiator in. I am going to use that what I'm going to do, I know you can't see in here well, I'm going to get in here and do some of the same encapsulator. I changed my mind. The same encapsulator we used on the floor, I'm going to use that on in the engine bay here. So what I'm going to do, just by hand clean this front part, and then I'm going to get the radiator in so we can get some water running through this, because the only gauge that I've yet to see work is the temperature gauge. Everything else is working. So next video we'll get this thing started up, let you see all the gauges. I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up, but we're nearing the end. All right, folks, this is going to wrap up this video. You ever have that feeling like you're getting sick? You can just feel it in the back of your neck and in your head. Well, that's where I'm at right now. So I'll do my best to get another video out as soon as possible. But I can feel it coming. You know what I mean? And my anniversary's in 2 days, so I gotta do good. So anyway, I gotta be healthy and take my wife out and celebrate. So hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please like, please share if you find any value here. If you don't find value in your watching, pop some notes down below and let me know what I can do to make this better for you. Okay, thank y'all and be blessed.